So are you curious about how estate planning can benefit you? Well, stick around. We're breaking it all down and showing you how you can get started today. Hello folks, and welcome to Everything Estate Planning. I'm Jim, your guide from Elm Legal Services. If you're just starting to think about your estate planning, or perhaps you're knee-deep in figuring out how to shield your assets, no worries, you're in the right place. So stick around as we dive into how you can lock down your legacy and make sure your loved ones are taken care of down the road. Ready to get started? Well, all aboard, and let's start the journey together. All right, let's jump right in and talk about what estate planning really is. Imagine it as your way of lining up all your ducks, assets, healthcare decisions, all the works so that everything's smooth sailing for your family later on. It's not just about who gets your vintage guitar collection. It's also about making sure someone knows what you want if you can't speak for yourself. We're talking wills, trusts, lasting powers of attorney, and your healthcare choices. It's all about keeping things crystal clear so your family doesn't have to guess what you would have wanted, saving them a mountain of stress. Before we get further into this, it's important to mention that the following information is relevant to UK law, specifically England and Wales. As such, it may not apply if you live in a different country. Always check the laws of the jurisdiction you reside in before undergoing any estate planning. To better understand why estate planning is important, let's first look at a few facts and figures. So, a 2023 report from the National Will Register found that a whopping 56% of adults in the UK have not made a will. 2 in 5 of these said that they had not got around to making one yet, while almost a third felt they did not have enough to warrant making a will. 1 in 10 felt their estate was too simple to need a will, and another 1 in 10 said they did not know how to make a will. These statistics highlight some perceptions of estate planning and specifically why people are avoiding it. Let's explore this further and dispel some potential misconceptions and hopefully highlight the benefits and overall importance of estate planning. Estate planning is only for the elderly or wealthy. Misconception. Many believe estate planning is only necessary for older adults and for those with substantial wealth. Reality. Estate planning is beneficial for anyone who wishes to have control of their distribution of their assets, regardless of the size of their estate. It's also crucial for making arrangements for the care of minor children, managing potential incapacity, and ensuring that wishes are respected in medical emergencies. Estate planning, it's all far too complex. Misconception. The process is perceived as legally complex and daunting. Reality. While estate planning involves several legal documents, the process can be streamlined with professional help. Solicitors and estate planners can guide through the process and tailor plans to individual needs, making it less overwhelming. Estate planning, it's all too costly. Misconception. The cost of creating an estate plan are often seen as prohibitively high. The reality is the initial costs of setting up an estate plan are generally lower than the potential legal costs and taxes your estate might incur if you die intestate. I'll do a video about that later. So an estate plan can also help minimize future taxes and legal fees by efficiently managing how assets are handled and transferred. Estate planning can wait. So that's a misconception. There's often a belief that estate planning can be done later in life. Hey, unexpected events can happen at any age. Having an estate plan in place ensures that your assets are distributed according to your wishes and that your family is cared for in your absence, regardless of when unexpected situations arise. Estate planning is just about distributing assets. Another misconception. Some think it's solely about who gets what after they're gone. Reality, beyond asset distribution, estate planning allows you to make crucial decisions about who will take care of your kids, how your healthcare should be handled if you become incapacitated, and Who's going to manage your financial affairs if you are unable to do so? Oh, there's an emotional discomfort with mortality. I don't want to think about dying. You know, I'm reluctant to label this as a misconception because really, who am I to dictate how anyone should feel about death? But it is something that affects all of us. And I believe it is important to talk about it. It makes total sense that planning for our own death can feel morbid and upsetting. And it's perfectly natural that this might make us want to steer clear of the subject altogether. However, as someone who's worked in this field for over 30 years, I can safely say that the benefits of estate planning far outweigh the negatives associated with a person dying without a sensible plan in place. Avoiding estate planning can lead to several significant issues, including legal and financial complications. So without a clear and defined estate plan, your estate could face significant legal and financial challenges. These complications can be lengthy and expensive, causing stress for your family and potentially tying up assets for an extended period. This situation can result in considerable legal costs, reducing the overall value of the estate your heirs receive. Family disputes. When wishes aren't clearly documented, there's a higher risk of disputes among family members. These can escalate into legal battles, causing rifts and potentially irreparable damage to relationships in the family. In the absence of a will or an estate planning, disagreements over who gets what can deeply affect family harmony. And then we've got tax, HMRC. So without proper planning, your estate may incur unnecessary taxes, decreasing the amount that passes on to your beneficiaries. Effective estate planning can help minimize estate taxes and maximize the inheritance for your heirs. Mismanagement of minors' children's needs. Sounds complex, and it's so important, and it's not complex, because without a will that nominates guardians for minor children, the courts will decide who takes care of them if something happens to both parents. This may not align with your wishes or the best interests of the kids. So without an estate plan, your assets will be distributed according to the law of intestacy, which may not reflect your personal wishes. This could mean that people you intended to provide for are left out, or people you would prefer not to support may in actual fact benefit. And then there's lack of control over your personal matters. Estate planning isn't just about distributing your assets, it's also about preparing for the possibility that you might one day be unable to make your own decisions due to incapacity. Without a plan in place, you lose that control over who makes crucial financial and health decisions on your behalf. In such cases, even if you prefer your loved ones to handle these decisions, they might not have the legal authority to do so. So, given that it is preferable to avoid these issues, how can we approach the subject of death and mortality in a way that allows us to be productive in our planning? For me, I try to reframe estate planning as a positive, proactive step which can help alleviate a lot of this discomfort. Instead of viewing it as planning for death, it can be seen as planning for life, ensuring that our life's work and legacy are preserved and that loved ones are cared for in the best possible way. This perspective shifts the focus from death to care and responsibility for those we love. So proactive planning as an act of care. As we can see then, this shift in perspective shows estate planning in a different light. It is not so much the daunting task as it may initially appear, but rather an act of care both for yourself and for your loved ones. Sensible estate planning can contribute towards peace of mind. Engaging in estate planning provides peace of mind by knowing that your wishes will be respected and your loved ones will be taken care of in your absence. This can significantly reduce anxiety about the future, both for yourself and for your family. So then we can look at reducing family burdens by making decisions about asset distribution, guardianship, and your personal care preferences in advance. You alleviate the burden of your family to make these difficult decisions under stress or grief. This can prevent conflicts and ensure that your exact wishes are followed, making the grieving process a little easier for everyone involved. Then you've got control over your legacy, because an estate plan allows individuals to control how their legacy is handled and remembered. This could involve leaving meaningful contributions to charities, ensuring that family heirlooms are passed down, or even dictating the terms of ongoing business operations if you own a business. And then you've got the educational approach. A crucial part of what we are trying to do on this channel is to encourage people to have open conversations about estate planning, whether it be in an educational setting, financial advising, or even healthcare. I firmly believe that education and open communication is key to normalizing the process by debunking misconceptions and reframing estate planning as a thoughtful and necessary step for the well-being of one's family. Individuals may find it easier to overcome their discomfort with the topic and take proactive steps towards planning their estates. Now, we've examined what estate planning is and why it is important. So let's take a look at the individual components which make up an effective estate plan. Obviously, we're going to have a last will and testament in there because this is the cornerstone of estate planning. Your will dictates how most of your estate is to be handled. This includes guardianship, designations where you specify who will care for dependent kids if you are no longer able, lasting powers of attorney. Now, these legal documents are critical as they appoint someone to act on your behalf if you're unable to do so. Then we've got trusts. These could be used to manage assets more efficiently, protect assets from third-party creditors, and can help mitigate estate taxes. Healthcare directives, also known as the living will. These specify your healthcare wishes should you be incapacitated. We at Elm Legal Services do not provide or recommend living wills, as we basically believe that a lasting power of attorney offers more comprehensive protection. More on that later, not a video. Beneficiary designation. Now, beneficiary designations work on accounts such as insurance policies, death in service benefits, and are absolutely crucial. They ensure that assets are transferred directly to the named beneficiaries upon death, bypassing that whole protracted probate process entirely. Now, letters of intent. This personal document provides specific instructions or wishes that aren't legally binding, but can guide your executor or personal representative in handling your estate according to your personal values or preferences. Each of these components is a significant topic in itself, and each plays a unique role in creating an effective estate plan. For the purpose of keeping this video somewhat focused and not an hour or two long, we're going to explore each one in much greater detail in future videos. So far, we've defined estate planning and looked at why it is so important. But what are some practical steps you can start today in order to get your estate plan underway? You can start with a few straightforward steps. Document your assets. List out everything you own, from properties and investments to personal keepsakes. Consider your family dynamics. Understand the needs and situations of your potential heirs. This can influence how you might want to structure your will and/or trust. Think about your own care needs. Consider potential future healthcare or long-term care needs and how best to plan for them. Seek professional guidance. Can't stress that enough. Seek professional guidance. Utilizing professionals like estate planners, financial advisors, counselors, solicitors can help individuals navigate their own estate plan. These professionals can provide not only expertise, but can also provide emotional support, making that process less daunting. So at this point, I should make a shameless plug for Elm Legal Services, but the reality is that you should use whatever professional you feel comfortable with. Just please do your research first. Check their qualifications and their accreditation, and do social proof in the form of Google reviews. That being said, you're very welcome to contact us, and our experts can help answer any questions you have and tailor a plan that fits perfectly with your life situation. By breaking it down, you can build a solid plan piece by piece. So, estate planning isn't just for the rich or the old. It's for anyone who wants to ensure things go according to plan. Today, we've covered the basics, why it matters, and how to get started. Next time, we're going to dive into wills in more detail. So if you've got any questions or you want to share your thoughts, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you. And if you found this video helpful, give that like button a friendly handshake and hit the subscribe button to stay updated on all our latest content. But remember, a little planning today can make a big difference tomorrow. So until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and stay tuned.